out in the cold with the wind blowing, whipping up the ice and the snow into their pen.
A local case of animal cruelty involving 2 dogs left out in the elements. The confusion for officials that delayed their rescue and what led to the death of one of the dogs.
As temperatures gradually warm during the days, we're going to see rain make a comeback. We'll talk about the impact it could have on the weekend and beyond in First Warning Weather.
Plus a new fast-moving wildfire with 20-foot flames torching the hills north of Los Angeles. A look at the concern that forced even more evacuations tonight.
A live look tonight at downtown Austin. As our days warm up, we still have at least 2 more overnight freezes ahead. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Jennifer Sanders.
And I'm Daniel Modine. With another freeze expected tonight, a deadly and heartbreaking animal cruelty case out of Williamson County is top of mind. It happened in Bartlett, where a county official says 2 dogs were found outside in the bitter cold yesterday.
And KXAN Sarah O'Shea reports now a question about jurisdiction, complicated matters, with officials considering asking for change from lawmakers to make sure lives aren't lost in the future.
There were 2 dogs outside of Bartlett on a property in a chain-linked fence with no support, no housing, out in the cold with the wind blowing, whipping up the ice and the snow into their pen.
Williamson County officials tell us inside this cage, they found 2 dogs outside on one of the coldest days of the winter so far.
There were 4 bowls in the pen, all empty, no food or water. Their snouts had mud and dirt in their teeth, indicating that they had started eating the ground and the dirt because they had been in that pen for too long.
Judge K.T. Musselman, Williamson County Justice of the Peace in Precinct 1, got the call on Tuesday with an animal control officer on the line.
I heard her in my ear with a dog about to seizing in her arms, banging on the door, asking if anyone is home.
Musselman says any justice of the peace or municipal judge within the county can issue a warrant to seize an animal they believe is being treated cruelly. But in this situation, he says they lost about 15 minutes trying to figure out who had the authority to sign that warrant.
We were 60 feet away from the county line and we had a jurisdictional question. We did our best to issue that warrant as quickly as possible. Unfortunately, because of the time, one of those dogs died in the animal control officer's arms.
The surviving dog now at the county's regional hospital and veterinary center. A hearing on January 31st will decide if the owners get that dog back. Judge Musselman wants this situation to lead to change. He plans to ask lawmakers to cut down on the time it takes to figure out which judge has the authority to issue a warrant in this kind of emergency situation.
And that could be as simple as changing the health and safety code to allow any judge in a neighboring county to be able to issue that order. Small change, but could have a huge difference and would have saved the life potentially of that dog.
Sarah O'Shea, KXAN News.
And officials tell us the county is still trying to figure out who the owner is. We knocked on the door of the property, but no one responded. Officials say if you see an animal outside struggling in this weather, just go ahead and call it into law enforcement, as it could lead to a criminal misdemeanor filing.
In cases such as these, a person cannot restrain a dog outside unless there is adequate shelter to protect from the elements and also enough water. Those laws were passed by Texas lawmakers in 2021 and amounts to a misdemeanor charge. But extreme cases of animal cruelty were not even considered a felony under Texas law until 2001.
And we still have a lot of winter ahead of us, so a few things to know to protect animals in the cold. Cats and small animals can seek warmth under the hood of your vehicle, so tap the hood before you start it. If you can keep your pets indoors, do that as well, and take them outside only for short bathroom breaks, and then wipe their paws when you bring them inside to protect against snow or salt. And also know the signs of hypothermia in pets. Watch for shivering, whining, lethargy, and trouble walking or breathing.
Okay, and right now, Nick, we are actually warming up tomorrow.
Yeah, and we're warmer tonight than we were last night. By this time last night, we were in the mid-20s, and now we're all still above freezing. We're at 40, in fact, in Austin. So significantly warmer now, but we are still going to cool off here tonight, and most of us will begin the day tomorrow several degrees below freezing. The reason we're noticeably warmer now, and thanks in large part to these clouds acting like a blanket to keep the heat of the day in. But we do expect that we'll start to lose more of these clouds as we get closer to daybreak, and that should allow temperatures to drop toward the end of the night, or just before dawn, down to about 30 in Austin, and that will be widespread 20s outside of the city. So cold, but yes, not quite as cold, although still the potential for a few more freezes before we head into the weekend. Slowly warming afternoons. We've got some 60s to show you, and yes, regular, plain, non-icing, non-freezing rain is on the way, arriving this weekend. We'll track the much-needed wet weather in first warning weather.
Right, Nick, thank you very much. Well, we're following some breaking news out of San Antonio tonight, where the police chief says at least 4 officers have been shot. This is in North San Antonio near Loop 1604 and U.S. Highway 281. On social media, Chief Bill McManus says the officers were responding to a suicide call about an hour ago. A separate post by the Combined Law Enforcement Association of Texas, CLEAT, revealed that all 4 officers were shot by the suspect and are in the hospital. Now remember, if you or someone you know is in a crisis, there is help. Call 988 to reach the National Suicide and Crisis Lifeline 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. They also have text messaging and online chat options through their website.
A 16-year-old girl is dead after a shooting at a Nashville high school this morning. Police identified the shooter as 17-year-old Solomon Henderson.
According to police there, the shooter confronted the victim in the school cafeteria and then opened fire, hitting and killing the girl. Police say the shooter then shot and killed himself. Another student sustained a graze wound and was treated at a local hospital. You could hear the emotions from parents as they waited to reunite with their students.
Parents are waiting to pick up their babies, and you send them to school thinking they're safe. And just to be that parent where you see everybody receiving their child except for you, I just couldn't imagine, and that what was going through my head.
Now tonight, Nashville police are searching the shooter's home. The motive of this shooting is still unknown. There are new wildfires and evacuations in California. There are now 6 blazes. The latest, the Hughes fire, broke out this morning north of Los Angeles.
Orange dark smoke from the wildfire burning in the mountains filled the air near suburban homes not too far from LA. Officials say more than 50,000 people were either ordered to flee or under evacuation warnings after that fast-moving wildfire exploded and then burned more than 5,000 acres in a few hours. NBC is reporting that some homeowners who refuse evacuation orders were seen hosing down their homes and backyards, an attempt to keep embers out. A section of Interstate 5 is closed because of the growing wildfire, and this fire ignited weeks after 2 nearby blazes left at least 27 people dead and leveled communities in Los Angeles, that area, earlier this month.
And also north of San Diego, you can see some video from this helicopter of the Bernardo fire that's threatening some homes there. At least 1 person is injured. NBC's Morgan Chesky is near the fire lines with a closer look.
We know that multiple evacuations were ordered as soon as these flames took off. One nearby school had to go into lockdown, and residents are waiting about a quarter mile from where we're standing, watching this firefight play out in real time. Again, this is the Bernardo fire, about 30 minutes north of San Diego, an incredibly dry area. And if you want to see what they're trying to keep from burning, this is the dry brush that is just such powerful fuel for these flames. If you look closely, you might be able to see that the retardant has been dropped on this area, trying to slow down the spread. But coupled with what happened a few weeks ago with those historic wildfires in Los Angeles, we are seeing what a single spark, a single ember can do in a very short time. Back to you.
And red flag warnings expire tomorrow, and that's adding some concern about the potential of additional fires. Today, both the Texas House and Senate filed their versions of the state budget. The Speaker of the House called the 2 versions of the budget substantially similar. One of the key items in both proposals was $1 billion for education savings accounts, and there was also $6.5 billion for border security and $402 million for new Texas troopers. But this is just the beginning of the process, and it's more than likely things will change.
This is a first draft. Like I said, I don't want to say it's a blank slate. It is a slate with a lot of details in it, but there's more to be done. Just because it's in there doesn't mean it'll end up in the end budget, and just because it's not in there doesn't mean it'll never make it.
And the 2 proposals will now go to their respective committees in the House and the Senate.
Well, tires, mattresses, shopping carts, and dozens of bags of trash all left in plain sight along the side of a road in southern Travis County. A KXAN viewer says over the last few years, trash has slowly built up. Now, that viewer, who asked that his face not be shown, said that since he moved into the area, which is right next to McKinney Falls State Park, this property on D. Gabriel Collins Road has become a dumping ground.
Grocery carts, abandoned mattresses, trash, construction stuff, probably hundreds of tires. There was almost nothing here 3.5 years ago, and now it looks like a small dump.
Now, through county records, it appears the piece of land is privately owned. KXAN has been in touch with the owner. The Kentucky-based property owner told us that they are looking into the issue. After some back and forth, today Congress passed the Laken-Riley Act. It requires the detainment of unauthorized migrants accused of theft and violent crimes. It also allows state attorneys general to sue the federal government for failing to enforce immigration law. Now, this law was named after a Georgia nursing student who was murdered last year by a Venezuelan man in the country illegally. This marks the first legislation that President Donald Trump can sign.
The Texas Land Commissioner says the state is still standing by, eager to help President Trump tighten the southern border and deport any, quote, violent criminals.
Our partners at News Nation spoke with Republican Don Buckingham as the new White House sets its plans in motion.
He was a very popular governor, but now he's like an unbeatable governor because of your border policies. He was fantastic.
On the day he was sworn into office, President Trump praised Texas Governor Greg Abbott's border security policies and vowed that Texas would have support from Washington. Trump then signed 10 executive orders on the topic, including declaring a national emergency at the southern border, sending troops to the region, and resuming border wall construction. All steps that Governor Abbott has taken over the last 4 years through his $11 billion security plan, Operation Lone Star.
Now we'll have even more tools at our disposal.
Texas Land Commissioner Don Buckingham says the state plans to help in any way, beginning with offering the Trump administration those 1,400 acres of land we've told you about in South Texas to help with mass deportations.
We'll do whatever it takes. We're here to be a good partner. Again, just getting these violent criminals who've been hurting our sons and daughters off of our soil.
But these efforts do come at a cost to Texas taxpayers, which Buckingham hopes the federal government can help cover.
Texas would like some reimbursement, especially for our efforts building the wall.
Buckingham says no matter what, Texas won't back down and is looking forward to sharing the fight with the White House.
We do look forward to passing a baton to our happy federal partner. Hopefully, Texas will have to spend a lot less in the future as these policies change, these lures that bring people here. And so we're excited. We think Trump is off to an incredibly strong start.
And aside from that 1,400-acre ranch in South Texas, Buckingham says her office could also help the feds acquire property in urban areas should they need it for immigration operations, though she didn't elaborate on that.
Work is underway to rescue sea turtles along the Texas coast where the winter storm left a thick coating of snow. Texas Parks and Wildlife posted these photos of the turtles they say were debilitated from the weather. And the agency says it is working with its partners to rehab the sea turtles and release them back into the wild.
And the sandy coast along Galveston turned into a snowy beach.
Okay, I'll take over, Daniel. The National Weather Service says the Houston and Galveston areas received 2 to 4 inches of snow, and some areas got 6 inches. The state wants to hear from Texans who may have damage to their property about this to contact the state. Now, the Texas Division of Emergency Management has a section on its website where people can send in their reports.
And the winter weather came through New Orleans as crews there were preparing for next month's Super Bowl. Cleanup crews were busy today clearing up the snow in the French Quarter and Canal Street. Louisiana's infrastructure coordinator says work will resume tomorrow to get back on track for the remaining projects. Close to 125,000 people are expected to show up for the big game. And this week's winter storm dumped up to 10 inches of snow in some areas of New Orleans.
Okay, they're dealing with a lot there. We're thawing out. We've pretty much cleared. Everything's cleared up.
Yeah. I mean, it was just those shaded areas that didn't get much sun yesterday that still had a bit of snow this morning. My son still loved seeing a little bit of it out there. But chances are, with temperatures still above freezing now, so we've been melting for about 18 hours now, that there is not going to be much, if anything, left except in a few rare instances. We'll keep doing any melting that's needed tomorrow with a high of 55. Yes, we are going to have another frigid start, but not nearly as cold as it was this morning. We're at 40 now in Austin. We are way warmer than this time yesterday. 14 degrees warmer, in fact. Some places closer to 20 degrees warmer than 24 hours ago, like in San Angelo. And you can see where the temperatures go here by 7 tomorrow morning. Low 30s for the metro, a lot of 20s in the hill country, and then we'll be warming up from there on out. Upper 30s and low 40s by 10. Then we're in the mid 50s in the afternoon. This will be a couple of degrees warmer than it was here today. Still another cold night Thursday night into Friday morning. We think there'll be actually colder temperatures Thursday night, Friday morning than what we're expecting tomorrow morning, because the skies will be clearer and not have the clouds that we have out there now acting somewhat like a blanket. But then a warmer afternoon on Friday as we head into the upper 50s to even near 60. So you can see a freeze tomorrow, another freeze Friday, maybe a freeze Saturday. We'll go with 33 in Austin, but some freezes outside of the city, and then no one freezes Sunday morning, a much warmer morning in the 50s. Our daytime highs will keep climbing, 50s Thursday and Friday. Saturday, almost 60. We go for 60 here on Sunday. Still a little below average for this time of year. Here are the clouds that are acting to keep us a little bit warmer here tonight. But we do think over the next few hours, these clouds will start to settle on south and southeast of us and fade away. So there may be a period of quick cooling in the first, say, 2 or 3 hours just before the sun comes up. So that should allow us to drop below freezing. But then plenty of sunshine for your Thursday, and we think we'll get a very sunny day on Friday. Saturday, not so much. Clouds come in quick, and then Saturday evening and night, our rain chances start to go up, giving way to a wetter day on Sunday. We think the wettest areas on Sunday will be along and east of I-35, but still decent rain chances for us. Monday's looking drier before another round of rain comes in here for Tuesday and Wednesday that are looking increasingly wet. And we think this wet pattern may keep going into the first few days of February. So you can see those rain chances are lower on Saturday, much higher Sunday, then back to low on Monday, and then increasing Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And when you add it all up, about a quarter inch to an inch for most of us over the next 7 days, a quarter inch or less for the hill country. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. There is a cold front in there. Doesn't do a lot for temperatures. Drops us from 60 Sunday to 57 Monday, but then we're back in the low to mid 60s Tuesday and Wednesday. And then beyond the 7-day, the 8 to 14-day rain outlook, wetter than normal.
This is KXAN Sports, brought to you by Thomas J. Henry.
Good evening, Longhorns. Still on that outside looking in when it comes to NCAA tournament projections. On Tuesday, though, they did not let a great resume game get away from them, despite the fact that they struggled mightily on offense when they could not hit a shot, literally from the field for more than the first 8 minutes. They did other things like draw offensive fouls there, played tough defense, and then when they needed some offense, they got it down the stretch. The one thing they did for Rodney Terry is that non-negotiable in the win.
Tonight I said to our guys, their effort was tremendous. There was no coaching effort tonight. Effort was there. No coach wants to coach effort. He wants to coach execution. He wants to coach, guys, executing the offense, executing the game plan on defense, and I thought we didn't have to coach any effort tonight. I thought our guys' effort was tremendous. It wasn't perfect at times, but it was always there tonight on display. And so we can do that on a regular basis and bottle that up from night to night, practice to practice. Again, this team can go as far as they want to go this year.
Next up, the Aggies, and what a wild one tonight in Oxford, Mississippi. Chris Beard taking on A&M, a ranked matchup. Aggies led 2-0, and that was it. Down 8 inside of 2 minutes to go, but Manny Abasaki with the 3 with 12 seconds to go. Ole Miss has one more chance. They don't use the timeout, get a decent look, can't finish. And the Aggies, talk about stealing one on the road. They do it tonight against 16th ranked Ole Miss. UT women tomorrow, it will start at 7 instead of 8 against Tennessee. That's because LSU couldn't travel to South Carolina. That game was scheduled for tomorrow night at 7 on ESPN. Instead, it will be Texas and Tennessee. And of course, the Longhorns are led by that dynamic backcourt of Madison Booker and Rory Harmon. Booker lights out the last couple of games. Rory Harmon, 7 assists, so reliable, other weapons. But maybe the X factor is the senior Aaliyah Moore. She has been struggling with a knee injury, tendonitis, in and out of the lineup, in and out of practice, but saw flashes against Maryland, and she is a weapon that Vic Schaefer would love to have down the stretch.
When she's feeling good and spry, you know, when she's got a little pep in her step, she's makes us different. What that kid does to try to allow herself to be the best she can be right now is amazing. I appreciate her so much. To know what she's going through, to know what she has done to help her, to give herself a chance. Yeah, she makes a big difference. I'm excited for her because I think she is feeling good. It's obviously showing in her play, and she brings a lot to the table.
And tonight in Omaha, that's Longhorn Kelvin Banks picking up that Outland Trophy, as Banks was named the outstanding lineman in college football. Now turns his attention to the draft. Go to KXAN.com for more sports.